Hello and hola. Welcome to Wine with Wanda. It's episode 16. Thank you for joining this virtual wine tasting journey. I appreciate you being here. And today we are traveling with our wine glasses to Argentina. And we'll be going to Argentina with a very special guest, Patricia Ortiz, who is president and owner of Tapiz, Zolo, and Wapisa wineries. What can I say about Patricia? Her resume, her bio is so impressive. She really is a Renaissance woman. She's an avid art collector, and she's also a former nephrologist. So for those of us who paid attention in science class, that's the doctor who specializes in the kidneys. But Patricia gave up the hospital for the vineyard, and she now strives for artistic and scientific excellence in her winemaking. And she's really committed to combining state-of-the-art technology and sustainability for an authentic wine experience. She's truly a force to be reckoned with. And in 2019, she became the first woman president of Bodegas de Argentina. Very impressive. Now, Patricia Tapiz and Zolo wineries are both located in Mendoza, but today we're going to go a little off the beaten path to her Wapisa winery. And it is located just 25 miles from the Atlantic Ocean, and it's on the banks of the Río Negro, and it's the only winery that exists in the Argentine Patagonian terroir. So today we're going to taste three wines with Patricia. We're going to start with the Wapisa Sauvignon Blanc, which I have in my glass, and here's the bottle. This is the 2019 vintage and it retails for about $14.99. We're also going to have Wapisa Pinot Noir, vintage 2018, and that retails for $21.99. And then, of course, Argentina. We cannot forget Malbec. So we have 2017 Malbec, which also retails for $21.99. So without further ado, let's see if we can get the fabulous Patricia Ortiz on the line. Let's see if she has joined in yet. Oh, there she is. I think I can add her now. Just give me a moment. So I'm waiting for it to connect. Here we go. Someone said I should stop talking about the Instagram magic. So let's just wait for Instagram to work properly. Hola, Patricia.
Hola. Nice to talk to you, Wanda.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you. The same.
Thank you. Well, thank you for taking a chance, giving up your time to talk with someone you've never met.
Well, that's the great of the technology today. We can be live, opposite part of the world.
Great. So how are things in Argentina right now?
Well, we are still in quarantine. Day 106, I think. So
oh my goodness.
It's been a very, very long time quarantine. So we got locked down March 20 when we just started the harvest. So it was really a little bit hectic at the beginning, but we were allowed to finish because it says that it was really a priority thing. They understand. Yeah, they understood that it's just once a year that we can do that. So with all type of preventions and things, we could do that, and it was a great harvest. So that was good. Yeah, very, very
good. Working through difficult times, I can only imagine the stress.
Yeah, it was a lot of stress, but good. We have finished it.
So, Patricia, I would love to know. So, you were a physician, a nephrologist. And now you're in wine. How did that happen?
Well, I was also a wine lover at that time. Okay. And at one point I decided I want to have happy clients, which is when you get people liking wine instead of getting people that are sick. So I say today I have the troubles. My customers are happy. Before I was a happy girl, and my customer had the troubles. We changed that, and but I love to work in the wine business. It's really, everybody's in a good mood. Everybody likes wine, so you are really having fun when you're working. So I like that.
Wonderful. And you grew up in Mendoza? Is that the region you're from?
No. I tell you, I was a consumer. I grew up in Buenos Aires. And, we love it, yes. We love it so much that we decided to take, our adventure to Mendoza. We started first with a vineyard, and then we got more serious on that, and we believe that everything starts in the vineyard. So we start buying more vineyards in the key areas of Argentina and producing wine, first with one winery, then we built the second one, and then we had the third one, because, I mean, we wanted to express the terroirs of each of the regions, so we couldn't be going with the grapes from one place to the other one.
Of course.
Yeah, different valleys, different wineries.
And so you are the first woman to be president of Bodegas de Argentina, which is a big deal. So if I understand correctly, that's kind of the collective of all of the wineries.
Of the wineries, yeah. It's like the chamber of all the wineries in Argentina. And yeah, it's a tough work. It takes me a lot of time, but I really like the industry. I like everything. I really got involved in all that. So I'm glad and happy to have been recognized with that position.
You know, it seems that I love that there's so many strong women in Argentina leading the way in wine. It's really quite impressive. Has it been hard, do you think? Or do you see a big change from when you started to now?
Yeah, well, people, you know, Mendoza was more, the wine business was more it's a man business. Today it's not that way. And, but still in that organization, I think I'm the only woman. in the board at least. So I have to deal with a lot. But they behave.
That's good.
If we have a woman, they work and behave well. So
I love it. I love it. You know, you're such a powerhouse. I know you have 3 wineries. Today we're focusing on Wapisa, which is something very special, kind of off the beaten path. So I'll let you describe where Wapisa is in Argentina.
Well, Wapisa is in Patagonia. Patagonia, as you know, is the farmost place in the world. And we are on the ocean. There are many wineries in Patagonia, but more close to the Andes. You know, the Andes cross Argentina from north to south all the way. And most of the wineries in Mendoza, they are all next to the Andes. In Patagonia, they are between the Andes and the coast, I would say. They are not so close to the Andes. And then we are in the coast, which is nobody has been there yet producing wine. But it's a very nice region with a very nice soil. We have all the ocean influence, you know, in the climate. And we said, okay, why we don't try here? So if it was not working, we put onions, which is what people do here. So it was just one or the other one.
Well, I'm glad the wine worked out. And yeah, you're just 25 miles from the Atlantic Ocean. So really, we
are close, and what we have done, we started in September, was to age the wines under the ocean.
I was going to ask about that. What inspired you to do that?
Well, we know that there are some experience in the world. We know that everything started with a wrecked ship, that they found some bottles of, I think it was champagne, that they were in really good shape. So being so close, we decided, why we don't start on doing the same? So we built some cages, you know, stainless steel cages, and each of them has like 500 bottles. Wow. They are special bottles because they are magnums. We needed to have, because we needed a thicker bottle in order that we had no experience, so we didn't know if we put some bottles that they may break because of the pressure. Because you are getting like 1 atmosphere and 2 atmospheres.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So that's pretty deep down there.
Yes. And so last week they took the first bottles out because we were supposed to do that in March with a big fair with the governor there opening the first bottles, but then the quarantine started just a few days before. So we had to stop that, but the enologist, he wanted to take them out and taste them and see how things were going. So we got divers that got us some bottles, and one break when they were bringing it.
Just
one. Yeah, they didn't take many, but some of one break. So he's tasting them now to see what happened and what he finds. And of course, we are researching what's the difference between the test that we have bottles not being there, aging in a normal cellar versus these ones.
So
And the university
how long
falls.
do you think you'll keep them down there? What's the
Well,
anticipated
people
cellaring
say,
time?
yeah, they say that 6 months are like 7 years age. So
Oh,
no, that's what they say. So we want to see
intense.
if that's really, and why. It's because of the movement, it's because of the temperature, light, all combined together. I mean, we have no idea the pressure of the atmospheres. So we are really trying to find out what are the things that are working to make that.
And what is the blend for those underwater wines? What is the
We
wine
have
that you have there?
Malbec and Cabernet. It's Malbec and Cabernet. Yeah.
Wonderful. And the name Wapisa, it has a really special origin. The name, it means
Yeah, well, the name,
whales.
yeah, it's mean whale because we have whales. The whales are going through there. When we put the bottles in September, we have around the boat whales just going around us and very curious what we are doing there. And they're going to the south, a little bit south from where we are, just to have the babies. So they always go through. Yeah, they nest then a little bit farther from there. But it's a time of the year that all of them are coming down, so you can have them very close to the coast. You can see them from the coast, the waves going through and flipping. Yeah, no, it's very, the area is beautiful, beautiful area.
How long does it take from Mendoza when you travel down to Wapisa? How long does it take to get there?
Well, if you go by car, it takes you like 12 hours. What we used to do was to fly. We flew, but you have to fly through Buenos Aires because there is no direct fly. So we have to fly through Buenos Aires. There are 2 planes, and then you take a car, and it's depending. You know, the problem is the time between one plane and the other one. They're not next, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all, and the place is so nice that it's like you go on vacation.
So someone wants to know, in terms of who's diving to get the bottles, have you trained the winemaker? Is a new part of his job? He has to dive to get them?
Well, I asked him to do that. But you know, in Mendoza, there is no way you can dive. Just climb. It's just mountains. So he's not, no. But there was a diving place. You know, it was very funny because we were once with my husband going, we decided to do that. We were traveling on the coast, seeing where was like a diving place. And so the first one was like more empty, you know, and then we found a place that there was like for tourists to do diving. So I went into that place, to the shop, and they wanted to sell me an excursion. I say, no, I want to put my bottles. And she was looking at me like, I mean, I got a crazy lady in front of me. Yeah. But then we started talking, and, and they really got hooked with the idea and were really happy. And for them, it's like an attraction. People now go diving. My winemaker hopes that nobody takes the bottles out, and but it was a good partnership that we made with these people, no?
And how many cages are under there?
Now we have 3 cages with 560
about 500 bottles. So
in each of them, so we have like 1,500. Yeah, each of them have a guest. Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Well, I know the wines we're tasting today were not underwater, but definitely I'm expecting we'll see that coastal influence in these.
Oh,
so
yeah, you will definitely. Tasting? Yeah, for sure.
So I'm guessing we'll start with the Sauvignon Blanc, which is 2019, and here in the U.S. it's $14.99. So there's the bottle. And I'm so excited. I'm tasting this for the first time, Patricia.
Well, you imagine the ocean, the saltiness, whatever, and you will see that you may find, I mean, what we like is to express the terroir in our wines. And in this wine, I can breathe that place. And it's
definitely mineral, a little salinity.
Yeah.
Very fresh, not too aggressive. It's not a super zesty, zingy Sauvignon Blanc.
No. We can see in this wine the difference between a Sauvignon Blanc from Mendoza. We produce Sauvignon Blanc in Mendoza. Has a lot of tropical notes. And if you go maybe to New Zealand, you get much more herbal and much more, citric. This one is like in between. Has the citrusness, has a very nice acidity, has a very long finish. It's not aggressive at all. And it
No,
pairs
very.
wonderful. Yeah, wonderful with all the oysters. And I mean, in that coast, we get shrimps, oysters. And the wine, I always say the wine grows where the food, pairing with the food from the area.
Yeah, really nice mouthfeel as well. It really kind of coats and it lingers and long finish. Really, for
Yeah,
$14.99, that's
it's,
really.
it's a
And
good
it really
deal.
tells a story. You can tell you're definitely getting that breeze feeling, that ocean, that freshness. Really, really pretty. So Pinot Noir, which is one of my favorites. So we have the 2018, and that's $21.99 in the US. So here we have, you can tell it's Pinot Noir. It's kind of that lighter red.
Yeah, the color is, yeah. Yeah, when you have Pinot Noir in Mendoza, you get much darker Pinot Noir. Mostly if you get them from the Uco Valley, because the Uco Valley, is very high. You get a lot of sunshine, you get thick skins, and you get a lot of color, even in the Pinot Noir. When you go down to Patagonia, people are knowing Patagonia and the central Patagonia for Pinot Noirs. It's like people may remain.
Wow, really interesting. Definitely there's that concentration, but the acidity is great. Again, a little bit of that salinity, that mineral flavor.
Yeah.
I like it. It's dry. There's a hint of something herbal here. Just a little bit.
Yeah, well, we get, and you will see that more in the Malbec. Yeah. We get those spices there from.
I think this spent 8 months in oak, correct? So, yeah, so a little bit of spice there. But yeah, strawberries, raspberry, those pretty red fruit. What do you like to eat with this?
Well, when we have for example, the other day I was cooking fish, and I put that because I had some sauce with the fish, and I like that. When we have lamb, we produce lambs. My husband produces lambs.
Really?
Yes, and he likes to have some Pinot Noir with that. No, and we, I like to cook, and I like to open, a bottle of wine when I start cooking, and inspires me, and then I drink, of course, a glass, and then I put some of the wine in my food. All my foods always wine, and then is that the wine that I'm going to use when we have the dinner, and so I try to combine, the wine with the food before, and then after you can taste the post. But the wine is already in the food too. I mean, I cook a lot with wine.
I love it. I love it. You must have quite the wine cellar at home.
Oh, yeah. When you like wine, this is something that is a problem. And in quarantine that we are home, my husband said the worst thing from the quarantine is we are drinking the whole cellar.
It's disappearing.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
You know the right people to make you some more, so you're in good shape.
Yeah.
So we can't talk about Argentina and not talk about Malbec.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course, Argentina
is the queen, not the king. I say it's the queen of grapes.
It's Argentina. People say Argentina Malbec. We always say we are much more than Malbec.
Yes.
But we are known for Malbecs, and I think Malbecs from Argentina are really great. And this particular Malbec is different from Malbecs from Mendoza, and that's why we got very high points by critics, because they found this is a Malbec, but a different Malbec.
Very fresh on the nose. Very fresh.
Yeah. But different types of fruit than the one that you may get from Mendoza.
Yeah, I find it. Sometimes Malbec is interesting because sometimes it can be very big and robust.
Yeah.
This one definitely, that Malbec essence is there, but it's very graceful, very elegant. It's very knocking you over.
Exactly. Well, all of the wines of our 3 wineries, we are working in elegance and finesse. We have been lucky that Jean-Claude Berruet from Chateau Petrus, the former winemaker, he's collaborating with us in Argentina in exclusivity. Nice. And my idea when I started working with him, I asked him, the help to make more elegant and wines with finesse in the winery. And as everything starts in the vineyard for us, his son comes, because his son is the one in charge of the vineyards there. He's the one coming and advising us in the vineyards.
Beautiful.
Because things starts there, yeah. So, so all of the wine that you may find from all of the wineries, the different brands, you will see the elegance, and that's what we are looking. Complexity, but elegant.
There's a nice balance too. Again, I'm getting a little bit of spice, but it's a nice accent. Yeah. It's not overly spicy. I'm guessing French oak. Are you using? I'm guessing you have a French winemaker.
Yeah, no, but you know, for the Malbec, we use also American oak.
Ah, interesting.
We combine. Yes, we combine. For Malbecs, we like to use some American oak too. Not for the Cabernets, of course, not for a Chardonnay, but and Merlot, of course not. He's not allowing us to put American oak in a Merlot. But, yeah. But in the Malbec, yes, because it gives some different touches that people like. So it's like 20% of American and 80% of French.
Yeah, really. For people who think, oh, all Malbecs are the same, you know, no, not at all.
No, not at all. No, that's what we say.
No, and this is great. I mean, it's $21.99. Let me show the bottle again. So with this, you're getting a wine from really off the beaten path, from a very well-known winemaker, from a great region. So it really tells a story, you know, that coastal feeling, I think, is consistent. Yeah. That freshness, which sometimes that's hard to achieve in Malbec. I think that freshness.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Exactly. And we get a lot of freshness there, down there.
Really? Do you have anything else that you're experimenting with, or right now you're focused on the underwater project? Anything else?
Well, we always have have a lot of young winemaker in the winery that you have to keep them doing something new all the time. Otherwise, these young kids, they need to do new things all the time in order to stay. So I leave them free to do things, and they have to show me. I mean, we have once a year a meeting where they come and they present me the new project that they have in the agronomy side and in the enologic side. And they surprise me really with the things they are doing, really, because they compete between the two teams who is challenged more. And for example, what they are looking now, what I like is, that you use the egg whites.
Yes, to find the wines.
To find the wines, okay. But now there are people that they don't want to have egg whites because they are
wines,
vegan.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So we have to find something to replace that. So they start getting something from the potatoes. Oh. And they didn't like that because they say it was too rustic. Okay. So now they are using like peas. You know, the green peas?
Yeah.
Yes, they are working on that, seeing if they can do something. So they really surprised me with that. And then they are looking, of course, of very, small things. We have 2 of our vineyards are organic, but they are not organic yeast. So they are trying to get organic yeast from the indigenous organic yeast from that vineyard in order to make the wine. So it's something that takes some years because they have to do many micro vinification in order to see which one is the one that best suits for the grapes coming from that vineyard, organic. And what else? No, they have some. Sometimes I forget because it's a day that is like in the university when they present, all the kids, but it's the same thing. They all present, and then we are like a staff, the old ones, that we say, okay, this one is blessed. You get money to do this one and to do this one. Of course.
I love it.
But yeah, they were doing, they were fermenting last year. It was so funny. They were fermenting Sauvignon Blanc with lupulus and that they use to make the beer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was great. They came up with a glass to everybody, and it was like you look and they said, this is a beer. I say, no, I can't believe these are serving beer in the winery. I kill somebody. And no, it was like the Sauvignon Blanc with the foam of the beer. And it was really interesting project that they started. And so it's fun. I like that because they are doing those things, and sometimes they find something that really then is commercial, is used. But in between they get energetic with
That's wonderful.
projects.
It's great. It
Yeah.
sounds like you have a team that shares your love of innovation, pushing
Oh yeah.
boundaries. Just you don't have to do it the way it's been done. So that's
No,
great that you have
at
that
all, at
energy
all.
in your team.
Yeah, no,
I'd
I
like to
think it's
hop back
important.
to Mendoza for just a second because one day I will visit Argentina again, one day, and I want
I
to hear about
hope.
Club Tapiz.
Oh well, yeah, this is the fun project of the company. It's a small hotel. It was an old winery that we still have it like a museum. The winery there, and we host there. We have 11 rooms. And the idea is that people may have, the magic. Everybody, because again, I come from the consumer side.
Hmm.
You have a magic in your what things will be in the wine business and in the vineyards and things like that. So the place is located in the middle of the vineyards. So when people come, they can be part of the work that we are doing in the vineyards. They have a chart in the room that explains what's the work in that time of the year. So they can come and harvest with us, so they can prune with us, so they can learn which types of pruner and which one we are using. And it's great. And then they go to the winery and they get a glass when they come in, so they can taste the tanks and they can taste, barrels and see the difference between French and American oak. And so they can be part of of that world for 2-3 days.
Great.
And we have a great restaurant there too. So no, the experience is really nice.
I was
And
going to ask, does the day end with the nice asado?
yeah. Yes.
For those of you who don't know what asado is, it's barbecue taken to an art form level in Argentina. It's just all these beautiful grilled meats that you sit for hours.
And it's just meat, no sauce. It's just the meat on the fire, and that's it.
Beautiful. So, Patricia, I always like to ask people, we're so lucky to work in wine because, look, it's bringing two strangers together over technology. When we're done, I'll sip these wines and remember our conversation and think about visiting you one day. But I always like to ask people, as great as the wine world is, I think there are always things that annoy us a little bit, whether it's a trend or a misconception that people may have. So is there something that you want to say to people like, look,
for example, screw caps.
Let's talk about screw caps. I love it.
Doesn't mean quality. Screw caps doesn't mean that there is no quality. Screw cap is just a very good closure for wines. And it's not that because a wine has a screw cap is a cheap wine at all. Great wines are put in screw caps. They are not experienced to store wines for too long with screw caps. So it's not that you're going to buy a wine with a screw cap and put it in your cellar for like 10 years, but be comfortable to buy wines with screw caps. And then the other thing is about the bottles. People expect sometimes that an expensive wine should have a big and heavy bottle. And it's not always the truth. So it's like, and they expect if they are wines from the New World. If they buy wines from France, they wouldn't expect that at all. But from the New World, people say, if I pay a lot of money, they should be a heavy bottle. And it's not always, if not that you get a heavy bottle, it's not that the wine will be the best inside.
Yes, thank you for making that point. That's a really, really good point. And an argument I have with friends often, you bring a screw cap and they think, oh, she must not think very much of me. She gave me a cheap wine. It's like, no. So thank you for clarifying that. Well, I want to encourage everyone, if you want to explore wines from Argentina and get a sense of the different terroirs, to visit your website, which is bodega-tapiz.com, and they can learn about Tapiz, about Zolo, and Wapisa down there in Patagonia, and that coastal feeling. And again, these wines are so affordable, starting at $14.99 and then $21.99, and really interesting winemaking. And hopefully soon we'll get to taste the underwater wines. I look forward to that.
You are in Argentina.
Just don't make me die for the bottles. I'm not doing that.
Either. So with me, you are safe. I will not die either.
Well, thank you so much for your time and for the vino. And stay safe. Stay smiling. Salud.
Salud. Bye-bye.
Adios.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.